Friends and loved ones are planning a candlelight vigil tomorrow to honor the life of a mother who was killed in her North Spokane home over the weekend. Tonight, we hear from those who knew her.
Johnson & Johnson vaccines are halted across the country. We let you know the reasoning behind the halt and what you can do if you've already gotten that vaccine.
We just saw the rise in our businesses coming back, so it's a little bit of a punch to the gut.
Whitman County, one of 3 Washington counties moving back to phase 2 restrictions. Business owners say this move is another difficult blow in an already difficult year for Pullman.
That blowing dust advisory still in effect for another couple of hours out in central Washington. Then I'm tracking lots of sunshine and very warm weather for the weekend. Your forecast is coming up.
It means so much to have those prayers and that support.
The Spokane community is showing support for a 5-year-old girl that was assaulted after her mother was killed last weekend. Family members say the child's name is Lily and her mother is Cassie. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on KREM 2 News at 6. I'm Tom Sherry.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. So we are choosing not to report Cassie and Lily's last names, and that's just to protect the family's privacy. But those who knew them say they are just heartbroken over what happened. Here now is KREM 2's Amanda Rowley.
I am outside a North Spokane home where just last weekend Cassie was killed. Her 5-year-old daughter Lily survived, but she suffered serious injuries. Here, a memorial on their lawn continues to grow with several bouquets of flowers, cards, and some balloons.
The candlelight vigil is planned for tomorrow evening. It will start at 7:30 p.m. at Franklin Park. Cassie's coworkers are organizing the event with donations from their union. They ask those who attend to wear masks and socially distance. Candles will be provided, and domestic violence counselors will also be there for anyone who needs to talk.
This candlelight vigil was put together to bring love and light to the family and to let them know how much Cassie was dearly loved.
Today, I talked to a longtime friend of Cassie's who is helping organize the event, and Lily's aunt. They are still processing what happened.
But I think everybody is very devastated. A lot of emotions are running high right now.
Obviously, it's devastating to hear what happened to Cassie and then hearing what happened to Lily, and it makes you so angry because things like that just shouldn't happen.
Lily's aunt, Sierra Kellogg, created a GoFundMe page to raise funds for Lily and her 2 older siblings. We've posted that link on krem.com. That account has already raised over $33,000.
At this time, Spokane police have not identified the suspect. He is currently at the hospital in police custody. Now, Spokane police say his name will be released once he is booked into jail. Reporting in North Spokane tonight, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Our other top story tonight, the FDA and CDC recommended a pause in the use of all Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine doses over concerns of rare blood clots. Now, despite that, top White House health officials say there won't be a significant impact on vaccination efforts. Federal vaccination channels, as well as more than 40 states, have now announced they will be stopping all use of that J&J vaccine while health officials investigate.
We have more than enough supply of Pfizer and Moderna vaccines to continue the current pace of about 3 million shots per day.
The CDC will convene an advisory committee meeting tomorrow to discuss the 6 cases in clots already, as well as next steps. In the meantime, Johnson & Johnson released a statement saying there is no clear relationship between these rare events and its vaccine.
Today, Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci joined the White House briefing to discuss the recommendation of a pause of that J&J vaccine here in the United States. He said people do not need to worry about the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, and that this pause on J&J is out of an abundance of caution and for them to just take a good look at that vaccine.
This is a really rare event. If you look at what we know so far, there have been 6 out of the 6.85 million doses, which is less than 1 in a million.
All right, let's take a quick break from the top headlines today and let's talk about the weather, because we knew that we had to prepare for some wind. Turned out to just be kind of a breezy day mixed in with quite a lot of sunshine today.
Yeah, we didn't get nearly the dust that we thought we'd get, although out in central Washington, we should say that there was some blowing dust at times out there. We'll still look for gusty winds tonight, most likely in that 10 to 20 mile per hour range with gusts up to about 30, but really lots of sunshine from here on out, and we really begin to warm things up towards the end of the week and into the weekend. Now, blowing dust advisory still in effect in central Washington and the lower Columbia Basin until 8 this evening. You'll take a look at the current wind speeds. It's still blowing out there, northeasterly winds at 20 miles per hour. So they're not damaging winds, but it gets your attention. We're at 54 degrees now under mostly sunny skies, nothing showing up on the radar. So your forecast calling for 50s this evening, an overnight low of 35, 62 the expected high on Wednesday, and then we get all the way up into the 70s by Saturday and Sunday. It's May weather in April, 74 on Sunday. I'll check the rest of your 10-day outlook coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Well, after the news broke that the CDC and FDA were recommending a pause on that J&J vaccine, social media posts started claiming that the vaccine had been recalled altogether. But is that true? Tonight, our Verify team looked into that. Here's Jay Wallace.
Soon after the CDC and FDA recommend that providers pause the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, word started to spread on social media that the vaccine had been recalled. We want to verify, did the FDA recall Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine? With Verify, we like to show you our sources up front. We consulted the Centers for Disease Control, Food and Drug Administration, and Dr. Amish Adalja. He's a senior scholar in infectious disease critical care and emergency medicine physician at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. Let's first look at the joint statement from the CDC and FDA. It says they are recommending a pause while they look into 6 cases of blood clots out of the nearly 7 million doses already given. This is an important distinction, according to Dr. Adalja.
Think about your DVD remote. When you hit pause, that means you're going to come back and hit the unpause button. So this usually is a temporary stoppage in order to kind of take a look at the data, take a look at the lay of the land, think about the risk communication messaging, and then move forward.
According to the FDA's website, a recall is a voluntary action taken by a company to remove a defective drug product from the market. Johnson & Johnson has not removed the vaccine from the market, and there is no medical proof that it is defective. The CDC also says vaccine recalls are almost always initiated by the manufacturer, not a government entity. The FDA approved this vaccine through an emergency use authorization, meaning it doesn't yet have the FDA's full approval. According to the FDA, Johnson & Johnson must continually review medical data related to its vaccine in order to maintain its emergency use authorization. And that's the reason we know about these 6 cases.
You have to remember that when you do a clinical trial, you're studying maybe tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. That's very different than when you're putting a vaccine into hundreds of millions of people.
Now, there's no confirmation yet that the vaccine caused these blood clots. Scientists from the FDA and CDC will work together to see if there's any possible links moving forward.
The intention is that this will resume, and I do suspect the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will resume.
So we can verify the Johnson & Johnson vaccine has not been recalled. This is only a recommendation to pause giving out doses while it undergoes a review.